Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here today with my, I guess it's soon to be 48 hours, but yeah, let's say 48-hour review of the Vivo X23. Now, quickly, there you go. That is the thing I wanted to show you. See if you can see it again quickly. Boom. I've had this phone for coming up to 2 days, and I just can't stop doing that. It is awesome. And so I got this phone, like I said, 2 days back. Been putting it through its paces here, and just going to share my quick summary TLDR here of the phone after 2 days. It is a very nice phone. It has a really good screen. I think the design is really sleek, is really nice. Audio seems pretty good. Camera seems pretty solid, but there's a reason why I probably won't be holding on to this phone for very long. And I think one of the reasons you can see right there, micro USB, which is just really sad at this price point. I think at the lower price points like the 8X, I can forgive micro USB, but not on a phone that cost me almost 3,000 Hong Kong dollars, and that costs even more new. So gonna go through the laundry list here of design, display, performance, quick audio speaker test, and then I just show you guys a few quick camera shots I took here. But let me know also in the comment section any specific questions you have about this Vivo X23, and I can talk about those in a second. But let's get into it. So talking about design, you can see here, the first thing you notice on this phone is just how incredibly edge to edge the display is here. Look at this display. It is just absolutely edge to edge. And gonna kind of just pull up the quick specs here of this 6.41 inch display. Now this is a very high pixel screen to body ratio here, 86.3%. Now I'm getting these numbers from GSM, guys. I know you guys wonder why the 8X was not a 91% that I reported. That's because I used those screen to body ratios from GSM. I don't trust the screen to body ratios that are posted on websites, on manufacturer websites. They're always going to try to fudge the numbers and make their phone seem more edge to edge than it actually is. This is an 86.3%. You see there is a little chin at the bottom. There's a slight kind of side bezel, but it's much less pronounced than most other phones. And you see, last but not least here, is the notch. Now, the notch on this phone is what's called the teardrop notch. Very well implemented. And honestly, I think it's one of the more modern looking phones that we have right now. And the other thing about the display right here is that it is a Super AMOLED display. So what does that mean for colors, kind of overall, kind of just colors and look? You can see it here. Look at that. It looks really nice. And it is pretty sharp. It's not as sharp as a 2K display, but I think it does the job very well. And it's just a beautiful design kind of overall. But kind of looking at the back here, there's that shimmer I was telling you guys about. See if I can show it there. And you can see there, boom, already just holding this phone, I'm getting all sorts of fingerprints on it. And you can see there, let's see if we can show you the shimmer. It is very subtle. In the certain lighting, you can see it, but it's very hard to see actually just from the kind of the angle there. It's really hard to see. But I think design-wise, it is a very nice, sleek phone. You got your 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Now there's this button here, and I think this is the AI button that was kind of being mentioned in the presentation. The AI button, and if I click it right now, you see it's going to start the AI assistant here that is kind of Vivo's AI assistant. So I'm not going to set that up for now, but you see here volume rocker, power button. Here is the SIM tray right here at the bottom. So you're going to be looking at that. And it's kind of actually a similar kind of design that is apparently on the Pixel 3 is here at the bottom. But wow, that's the real sad part, guys. That micro USB. What a letdown on a phone this expensive and this kind of modern looking. Really, really, really let down by that. Dual camera setup on the back. Pretty nice phone. Very beautiful design. And I kind of went into display already, so let's keep going. Let me go into now a Frankie Tech video to show you what video playback looks like on this. In all honesty, guys, the 8X Max had a bunch of other issues. So we're going to lower the volume there. And you see there, it is a single bottom firing speaker. But let's lower it and see what does that look like watching video full screen. Looks really great. I mean, this bottom bezel is tiny. It is smaller than the one on the Honor 8X. And if I have the Honor 8X somewhere here, don't seem to see it around right now, but just kind of let me compare real quickly here, just display-wise to the Mi 8 Lite. And you see how much smaller the bezels are on this phone. They are just tiny. And so for viewing experiences, AMOLED, you got your almost edge-to-edge screen. It is just awesome. And I, once again, like how they haven't gone in to the notch area. It looks really great, and you're going to have a great time with the display of this phone. Let's go into performance. And this is kind of the major story here, guys. Performance is the Snapdragon, the chip in this, the Snapdragon 670. So that's going to be a very new chip. It's using the 10 nanometer process here, and it's running the Adreno 615 GPU. So this is the 8 gig of RAM version. I'm not sure if I showed you guys that earlier, but in the previous video, I think I did. Let's see if I am still not, this kind of like Vivo settings, I am just not familiar with at all. So, and it is running FunTouch OS based on Android 8.1. There it is, about this phone. So you see it there, Android 8.1, 8 gigs of RAM. This is the 128 gigs of storage version. So this is the top of the line right here. And now what does that mean for kind of performance? Performance has been super snappy. I'm just loving the performance of this phone so far. It is really doing well. And it does have some interesting interactions here. You can see there, it's kind of in the middle. There's these like 3 lower areas here. One of them pulls up the control center, and one of them pulls up that kind of recent tray right there. So it's a little bit different from Xiaomi's, but looking at, let's see if we can find it here. All right, guys, so instead of trying to look for that screenshot, I just went ahead and did another Geekbench test right here. And you can see the single core 1738. Multi-core 5806. Now this is not to the level of the Snapdragon 845. That has much better scores, but these look like similar scores to me of the Snapdragon 835. And you can see by comparison here how it does stack up compared to the Galaxy Note 7. You see here, the Pixel 2. The Pixel 2, it was just replaced by the Pixel 3. And this phone, with a mid-range chip, is doing almost as good as the Pixel 2 in single core. Now in multi-core, it's a little bit further back than those. But you can see here, even the Google Pixel had a 5200. This is a 5800. So the closest thing I can see in approximation here is that Qualcomm 835 on the S8. So that is a really awesome score. And this phone is a 10 nanometer process here. So it is one of the fastest kind of processes and most efficient kind of chips on the market. It's really kind of a very new chip, and you can expect to see this in a lot of phones coming up very soon. So performance wise, I'm really loving this phone. And honestly, I'm not really missing out on the Snapdragon 845 with this chip. You know, everything just loads real quick. You see there, things just load super fast. And I'm gonna get Spotify logged in here, loaded, so we can do this audio test now. Stay tuned. All right, so let's do this, guys. And I've brought in the Mi 8 Lite here, which is going to kind of stand in as the kind of the secondary phone here. There's the Mi 8 Lite, and I'm gonna play a little bit of this progressive track here. Let's kind of bring it a little bit earlier here. Let's start. So let's start here on the Vivo X23, 75%. Now the Mi 8 Lite, 75%. X23 now. Let's go 100%. Mi 8 Lite, 100%. And what's my verdict there, guys? Both are pretty solid. I would say the Vivo X23 doesn't get as loud as the Mi 8 Lite. The speaker's a little bit more tinny. I still probably prefer the Mi 8 Lite's excellent speaker, and it's rated that way by GSM Arena, and especially similar to the Mi 8 2. But this is not a bad sound. You see that? It's not bad at all. It's a pretty solid sound. So I think, you know, if you were considering this phone, the Vivo, you're going to be pretty happy with the speaker, but not as happy as you would be if you had the Mi 8 Lite. And last but not least, the camera. So just going to kind of quickly cycle through here some of the photos I've taken on this phone right here. And you see it there. Now this, just going to give you the quick specs of the camera here. It's a 12 megapixel f1.8 shooter on the rear with a dual 13 megapixel camera, and then you have a 12 megapixel selfie camera that can shoot at 1080p 30 frames per second. The main camera can do 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, just kind of looking through here, just giving you the quick overview here, guys. I did take some shots, and I gotta say, it looks really nice. Like, I did not expect, whoa, look at that. Look at that. Now it's funny, I did 2 selfies here, and I did one without any, you see there's no beauty mode on. And then I put beauty mode to 10. And look how ridiculous this is. I may as well be one of those kind of like Twitter, Instagram models there, man. This is just nuts. I seriously look like I'm from another planet there, guys. It just does not look normal. Like even this one looks a little bit strange. I don't know. It's maybe the lighting there. It is definitely a good shooter, but it is not, let's say, to your liking, to your style. And it's definitely not to my liking. So first thing you would do if you ever get this phone is to just turn off that beauty mode. It is just way over the top right there. But kind of just showing you, you know, that low light experience. It's pretty solid. And let me show you the videos that I took here real quick. Let's have a look. Let's look at the 2 videos I took. Front-facing video on the X23. A lot going on here, guys. Pretty rainy day. Oh, that dude didn't like that. Let's have a look at the weather here. Pretty lousy weather, guys. Pretty lousy. So, you know, pretty decent, but let's see here. Video on the Vivo X23. Looks pretty good overall. I'm going to go down into the supermarket right now. It's going to get very bright here right now. Pretty good. Pretty solid performance overall. Pretty solid. All right, so you see it there, guys. I mean, the camera is a solid performer, and it takes photos very quickly. I'm gonna throw in the AirPods there, and just to show you what the camera app looks like. There's the AI face beauty. That setting is just ridiculous, and they have ways to make yourself slimmer and more beautiful. Man, I might need to do this. I might need to do this during beach season, man. Because now let's take a quick photo there, just to see what that looks like, and you can see it right there. Pretty good detail, pretty solid detail actually, of my beat up AirPods case overall. So I think camera, it's a good camera shooter. It's definitely kind of maybe not to the level of the flagship cameras, but I think for a mid-range camera, you are looking at a great shooter here. If you want to see a more in-depth camera review of this phone, let me know. So that's the end of the video, guys, and I guess the final question is, what is my verdict of this phone after 48 hours? I think it is a great phone in many different ways. It is definitely the kind of one of the more sleek looking phones that has come out in a while. Kind of reminds me of the experience I had with the Oppo Find X. It's got that kind of shimmer on the back. And I know Vivo, Oppo are all the same, BBK, I know they're all the same company, so that's probably why they get a lot of that reference from that design. Getting the Google apps on this also was pretty easy. The overall build quality is awesome. The display is awesome. The audio performance is good, if not just okay. And the camera you saw there, pretty good shooter. Performance-wise, it is really solid. And you can see there, you're going to have no issues because of that awesome Geekbench score there. You're going to have the same performance almost of the previous flagships from last year. But now the real answer, why am I going to return this phone? And probably very soon. Why will I not keep this phone? There's two main reasons, and the reasons are, in no particular order, software. Software, the software of this phone is just not to my liking. I would even call it atrocious if I was going to be completely honest with you guys. Navigating these settings is just an exercise in just futility for me. And the other thing I really don't like is the way that there are these kind of three methods. It looks very iPhone-like, these three methods of interaction here. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't make sense, and I just don't like the software. FunTouch OS, sorry, FunTouch OS, it just sucks. It's not for me, and I don't think it's for you either. Especially if you're coming from the Xiaomi camp, from Xiaomi, it's just not my favorite. And let's turn on the Smart Launcher here. Let's see what that is. It looks like the Xiaomi kind of like experience here, but just I don't know what it is. I know it's improved a little bit, but it is still just not to my liking. And the last thing really, and this is the real main one, guys, it's that micro USB, which on a phone that I know has got all these awesome features like that. I mean, that is so cool. Look at that. Look at that amazing interaction. And it's not slow. It's like, I feel like it's even getting faster. But the main point is, for a phone this expensive with AMOLED and with all this other stuff, this is just not just unacceptable. This is like egregious. This is just shameful. I cannot recommend this phone because the charging on this phone is slower because of that. The micro USB experience is not as good. And if you're gonna shell out that much money, even $3,000 for this phone, Hong Kong dollars, or maybe even a little more, I don't recommend it. I'm saying it right now, don't buy this phone. That's pretty much my thoughts on it, guys. But let me know what you think in the comments section there. It's a really cool proof of concept phone, but just not something that I think is practical for most of you guys out there. So let me know what you think, guys. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon. Stay tuned, guys. My giveaway details video is coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Maybe posting that later this evening, or if not, later kind of in the week. But yeah, just get all the details of the giveaway. Stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. This guy's going to be going back to the the store pretty soon. But, it was a cool kind of phone to look at just for a few days nonetheless. That's it for this video, guys. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech, signing off. Y'all have a good one.